we're gonna get into the little front chain dominant thing, front chain, back chain, because I think it's probably, you know, other than your columns and your foot and your ankle complex is always gonna be most important. But as far as like power, explosion, and things like that, if you in your front chain, you ain't got a shot in hell. The whole shoot your hips thing and all of that stuff is kind of some kind of way it's been embedded into everything that the O lineman and D lineman do from the way it looks.
In order to get those weight room numbers, you got to get really good at being front chain dominant. So you'll see the weight room number jump, but the problem is you've sacrificed this structural integrity that we keep showing you guys is what's going to keep you endurance durable, but then it's going to give you the chance to actually have the most power in the gas tank. But the sacrifice has been made at the mechanical level because we've been putting the weight number as the premium of what I need to go after, as opposed to let's put inside ankle bone high as the premium. Let's put back chain dominance as the premium. And so once you do that, then you start to switch gears quite literally, and it's different than what we learned growing up, but you start to feel different. You're like, oh, I feel like I'm using new muscles, right? I feel like I'm engaging new areas. So we've sacrificed the technique for the weight, and what we're trying to say now is put the weight aside for a second, focus on the technique, and then you'll be able to bring the weight back in certain instances, sled push, hennies, landmines. We still are gonna move weight. We just don't need to lift it anymore because you guys actually aren't lifting weight, you're moving weight. And so moving weight is a drive gear, lifting weight is reverse.
Now, we see that what happens is over time is here's little Gary just standing up ready to go, back chain dominant, head sitting on top, long safe, decompressed spine, chest right in front, the hip bone. And then here's Finn. Finn's been playing on video games and YouTube, and he's sitting in the desk in school, and he's got fucking 20 pairs of Jordans. So all my sons, the older ones' hips just sit all into the front chain, and that's what you get. You get that now. At 10, it's not a great big deal because he don't really feel it yet. But at 25, 330 pounds, it starts to become a problem. At 45, it'll cripple you and ruin your life. The head starts to sit into the front chain, and now it's like taking a bowling ball, because the head's 13 to 15 pounds. Y'all's might be closer to 20. Fucking take the head and put it out here. Now just imagine having to walk around with something that's 20 pounds, and then we want to put it and attach it to the cervical spine, which is the system that relays everything to our body. In the resting, we see what you see in the tribesman. Why? Because he never had a chair or anything to go sit on. If he maybe had a log or something. But then we see the loading pattern is butt goes back, right? They balance everything out to come up and down. But you'll see that hip bone just travels up and down in those loading squats in these innate patterns. And then we hear all of this other bullshit, right? Like femoral length, pelvic tilt, all kind of stuff. Well, that's why he can't do it. And if you're not supple and you're not back chain dominant and you don't live in your columns, well, of course you can't squat. But if you have an ankle, a knee, and a hip, that ass can get down to the ground. If we decompress you, 6'11" Tyreek Owen, Brooklyn Nets, straight feet, inside ankle bone high. This is your pre-movement fundamentals. This is before you even take a step. Now we have to move, right? Two major concepts before we take a step and before we could create energy in the body is we have to have foot control and head control. Foot control, we have a landing point on the foot. That is the only way to come to the earth. That's it. You can't load the heel, you can't load the big toe. You have to load this pivot point because just like everything else in nature, the body travels through space in centrifugal force. Now, like we talked about yesterday, you could create that force from anywhere on a foot. That torque, you could create it anywhere, inside edge, heel. So whatever you load the most, guess what's gonna touch the ground first? And guess what you're gonna rely on for strength and explosion is whatever pivot point you make. This, we've called it the green dots and we've called it the blade. It's the 4th and 5th metatarsal of the foot, the outside edge. In concept, if you was in karate class, your karate teacher would tell you to use the outside of your hand. I ain't even gonna try it because I break my hand. Same thing with your foot, same concepts, right? When we look at Ja Morant, straight foot, inside ankle bone high. Little Alex just playing on the baseball field, straight foot, inside ankle bone high, 2 years old. Ed Reed, same thing, right? Ilya Kipchoge, straight feet, inside ankle bone high. Andrew Whitworth fits into y'all narrative because he's an offensive lineman, but he played in the league for 15 years with no knee brace.
I want you on the ground multiple times a day.
Yeah.
This becomes basically your everyday go-to. This is always going to be good. It's got a little bit of everything in it. It's easily accessible. You got elevated drop-ins. You hit those on the staircase at home. Good. Good. Climb them high. Climb them high. Climb them high. There you go, Trey. There you go, Trey. Climb the ankle bone high. Good.
Head up. Head up.
Bone high.
Hey, listen up. When y'all on these drills, the lateral work and all of that, we not just training the feet right now. Your head's got to be up. You looking for that big man. You stepping back, you drop stepping, you looking, you seeing who's coming. You got to engage that peripheral vision. All right? It's all got to be together. If we train it wrong here, you're going to take that pattern to the field, and you're going to drop your head. It's got to be consistent through everything. Come on. Do it right all the time.